There ain't got no way, ain't got no way I'm gonna make it without my Lord. No, ain't got no way I'm gonna make it without my Lord. No, ain't got no way I'm gonna make it without my Lord. No.
Hey, and welcome, guys, to this amazing and wonderful episode of Breaking Out of Depression. We have our guest live in the studio already with us, and of course, Gabriella is here with us as well. So we're looking forward to this. We're going to have a really good and engaging and, of course, inspirational time. This episode is entitled Empowering Bold Moves, Overcoming Fear, and Building a Business You Love with our guest. I don't want to hazard in trying to pronounce the entire name at this time, but she just told us it's Dr. Christiane, and that's really good for me. That sounds great. So, without further ado, let's just go to God in a word of prayer, and then Gabriella will take the introduction and we'll take the interviews from there. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for life, spirit, health, and strength, the opportunity to live and move and have being. We thank you for the lives of those who are on live at this time, our guests included, and those who will see this production later on as it goes out on the social media platforms. We thank you for the safety and well being of our families and our businesses, and we thank you for your divine protection over our lives. Let everything be done decently and in order. And in the end, some soul be inspired, some soul be moved, and some level of transformation take place that lives be more enriched and healthy in the name of your loving Son and our Savior, Jesus Christ. So we thank you as we look forward to this. In Jesus' name, we pray with thanksgiving. Amen. Gabriella.
Hi, good night, everyone. So, without further ado, let us just welcome our guest. And her name is Christiana. I knew it because that's a middle name, my middle name, but she's going to excuse me for how I'm going to pronounce her last name. So, Dr. Christiana Crochia, if I pronounce it correct, she'll correct me, is a TEDx speaker, business and wellness coach, professor, and best-selling author who empowers entrepreneurs to achieve big results through small strategic actions. With a PhD in health economics, she serves as a professor of marketing, innovation, and entrepreneurship at a leading U.S. university, where her work has earned both national and international recognition. She is the host of the Happy Healthy Hustle podcast, ranked in the top 1% globally, where she shares high performance strategies that integrate productivity, business growth, and well being. Her signature Petite Practice framework helps entrepreneurs work smarter, scale faster, and lead with clarity and confidence. Christiane is the author of three books, including the Amazon #1 new release How to Master Your Goals, her latest Discover Your Superpower, and the companion Petite Practice Planner expand on her results driven system for sustainable success. Known for her no bluff, high energy approach, Christiana blends academic expertise with real world strategy. She has supported over 10,000 students and professionals in turning big ideas into clear, doable steps that fit real life and continues to inspire audiences worldwide to overcome fear, embrace bold moves, and build businesses they love. So, without further ado, let's just welcome the good doctor, Christiana.
Welcome, welcome, and
Yes,
I'm so
welcome.
glad to have you. And so I'm going to just embrace the moment to ask Dr. Christiana. Are you hearing us in real time?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to be here. Hey, audience, it's going to be a good episode. Thanks for tuning in. And of course, thanks for having me.
Okay, we thank you for being with us and for taking the time to be on this episode of Breaking Out of Depression. So, there are many defining moments in our lives, and some we would like to remember, and there are some we would definitely like to forget. If there's any one moment in your life that you could remember where you actually saw a better way to accomplish things in this life, particularly from a business perspective, and understanding that your mindset and your approach needs to be one that is more based on love rather than just rather or prefer. Could you share with us what that moment was like for you and what did you learn from it as a result?
Oh, I would love to. And of course, I'm just coming out of that moment. So I love that introduction, Gabriella.
You're welcome.
I just 2 weeks ago stood on that stage facing an audience and giving my TEDx talk.
Yes.
And if you have ever seen TEDx talks, it's definitely kind of a big moment in your life, but it's
Yeah.
also a moment that you might associate with a lot of fear, a lot of scary feelings as you're getting on the stage and sharing your talk with that audience.
Hmm.
So when you are behind the curtain and then your name gets called, I definitely felt in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, this is becoming real. Am I actually really going to do this? But then I thought, you know what? This is not about me. This
Mm.
is about sharing my message with the audience and helping them become better people.
Right.
It's truly something that I'm passionate about my talk, and I'm so excited about it that I more looked at it as an opportunity, a stage to share my talk and my message with the audience right there, and then soon when it's out on YouTube with the whole world. So that was my mindset shift. Instead
Wow.
of fear,
Hmm.
FEAR,
Yes.
I thought, you know what? I'm going to face everything and rise. I'm
Wow.
going to get on that stage. I'm
Wow.
going to overcome the fear, face everything and rise. And that was the mindset that helped me in presenting the very best I could have.
Wonderful. I love that. Face everything and
Peace.
rise. I love it. So immediately we have an engaging and inspirational message for our people. Now, what is important about one discovering their superpower? I want you to stress on that for a bit and tell us if you have discovered your superpower, what do you think it is that makes you so unique as someone who helps others to find their uniqueness as well?
I think that when we tap into the superpower, we are able to share our gifts with others. So
Mhm.
always think your superpower in service of others.
Yes.
Because it's kind of like you're taking a diamond and looking at it, and all of a sudden you see all the lights that are reflecting in there. And the reflection is really others enjoying your skills, your superpower, and drawing their strength from it. So
Hmm.
let's say I'm a great communicator. I love educating and coaching others. So that's my superpower. I like to bring energy in the classroom and move minds. And I also teach fitness classes, so I also move bodies, right?
Yes.
But what I really am passionate about is educating, teaching, making people reach their goals. So that's my superpower. Now, we all might have completely different superpowers, but think about, again, getting up on that TEDx stage for me and sharing my message with the world. I was feeling actually home. I was like, I'm tapping into my superpower. I am facing it, I'm rising, and I'm feeling like this is really what I love doing.
Yes.
Think
Yes.
about that moment for you
Hmm.
if you were to tap into your superpower and that amazing feeling where
Yeah.
you're like, this is what I'm meant to do. I love it.
Yes. Wow. I want to add something to your superpower, and it's two words: energy, engaging. You have this sort of aura about you, this positive smile. You laugh, it's catchy, and then in your voice you get that conviction that hey, what she's saying, she's really feeling it. And that's important. That's really important because that's how we connect with people. What is the one thing about your life that you always want people to remember about you?
I actually love that you brought up my positivity. I love that when I meet with people
Yeah.
that they can share authentically with me what their goals are, and I will help them find a way to reach it by simplifying the steps to reach their goals.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to take big complicated things
Yes.
and then break them down into simple steps. And one of my favorite secret superpowers is I like to use analogies and
Mm-hmm.
acronyms. And I gave you one of my favorite ones earlier, the FEAR acronym. I have another couple of acronyms that I can share with you as well.
Yes.
But that is one of my absolute favorite superpowers that I feel people are sometimes afraid because they seem their goals are big, they're complex, complicated. Maybe they're even feeling a little uh, a little embarrassed about admitting this is my goal.
Yeah.
That others might make fun of them. Where in reality, this is your goal. I mean, this is your if that's something you're passionate about, I love that you're sharing it because it paints a little bit the picture about who you are as a person. So I
Right.
always want that people remember, she's
Mm-hmm.
the lady that helped me get on my trajectory to get to that goal.
Right. And that is why we thought it best to bring you on this show, because Gabriella would tell you, Gabriella went through a series of experiences where she was actually fearful about using her superpower and launched full time into business. Thankfully, God led her to me. But
Wow.
in addition to that, I want you to just share with us. Um, there are so many different things that people have going for them, and sometimes they are not aware of it in terms of their superpower and what they can do. But what are some of the common fears you see in aspiring entrepreneurs, and how can they begin to identify and name these fears and face them head on? Because that's what they need to do.
Well, as I mentioned, one fear is you are maybe sharing with the world what you always wanted to do, that others might laugh about you. They will think, "My gosh, that person wants to do that," that you're feeling nearly too shy, too embarrassed, or not enough
Yeah,
to reach that particular skill set,
yeah.
that we kind of doubt ourselves and become our own worst critique. And
Mm,
that is definitely a fear I see a lot, to where people have the ability and the skill, they
yeah.
just don't have the confidence in sharing their goal with the world. And so they're afraid to even admitting that this is one of their goals because they are afraid that others might make fun of them.
Wow. And that's deep. That's deep and really profound.
Yeah.
We have a comment from Gracie Vincent. As always, pleasant good night, Brother Andy, Charles, and Gabriella. But you left out Dr.
Pleasant night.
Christiane.
Dr. Christ, yeah.
But I think she's probably going to comment later
Yes.
to bring you into the picture. So we're just about 13 minutes in, and Gabriella, I'd like to bring you in now. We can have two questions, and then we're going to play that promo ad and continue with the interview. Yeah,
No problem. Thank you so much. So,
welcome.
Dr. Christina, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. And as Andy said, your aura is just on positive. I love it. Now, I just want to piggyback a little bit on the goals, right? Many people have goals for what they want to do or would like to do in life, but a lot of times they just write it down on a piece of paper or they keep it right here and they just leave it there. What will be your encouragement to someone who actually just have a goal but it hasn't put systems in place in order
Mhm.
to achieve those goals?
Mm. Brilliant, brilliant. Use a four-step system,
Yeah.
right? First, S for simplify your goal. Take your big goal and break it down into small steps. So
Yes.
that's your S. Your T is tell someone about your goal, because alone the fact of verbalizing it makes your goal real and puts it into the present moment. E stands for examine. Everything you've done over the past weeks or month, examine what worked, what felt good, what you need to do more of to get to your big goal. And then lastly, praise your progress. Really be grateful for what you've accomplished, the small things, the medium things, the bigger things, so that it creates that positive momentum. So
Yeah.
STEP, once you use these steps, these petite practices, you're going to
Yes.
see momentum and it's going to fuel you to actually reach your goal eventually.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for that first step. I hope who is listening is actually taking down those notes because it is very important. Because a lot of persons stay stuck in that zone where they just have a goal and it just remains a goal for years upon years upon years, and it never becomes a realization. So my another question to you would be to someone who has that fear, of stepping into the unknown. Because, I mean, yes, you can have the goal and yes, you want to achieve this, but coming out of your comfort zone and stepping into something that you're not sure what will be the outcome. What would you tell someone in that instance where they are being paralyzed by fear and not allowing to face those challenges or face those thoughts?
I sometimes say, what's the worst that could happen?
Mm.
So what? People are going to laugh about you.
Yes,
And so be it. They got to laugh out of it. Let them
yes,
laugh, right? And if there are really people that are doubters and that seem they are not supporting you in reaching your goals, maybe a good time to evaluate whether you really want to hang out with them, right? I
yes,
mean, it's sometimes it's just a filter that you're taking away to show the true you and the
yes,
person that really has that goal. And if they are not there to be the people that give you the high five for every single step that you make towards that goal, maybe you don't want to have them on your team. Maybe you're like, you know what? Let me just do my thing and we might revisit, in a few months. But it's really important for me. And I'm feeling, that I need that support system around me right now. And it starts with social media, to where sometimes you scroll and you feel everybody else is doing it. I'm not doing it. Da, 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 da. Don't worry
comparison,
about it because
comparison.
all these
Yes,
people at some point got started and they were not always where they are today. If you scroll down all the way to their feeds, you realize they got started as well. And that's
yeah,
they're just a little ahead of you. That's it. They were
yeah.
right where you were right now.
Yeah. Yes, it's so true. So thank you. Thank you so much. And I hope that is an encouragement as well because I mean persons just see the results and they think, well, okay, they didn't struggle, they didn't have this, maybe they had it all together. But being able to share and be vulnerable and let persons know, yes, I struggle as well. I had fear. It's important so persons can really understand that they are not alone. So thank you so much for sharing that. So
Yeah.
Handy, you can do.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
before we get the promo video, I just want to mention what Gracie has on her comments. First
Yeah.
of all, she is acknowledging Dr. Christiana. And then secondly, she's saying, if they laugh at me or they chastise me or criticize me, I know that's what she means. I will tell them, go brave and leave everything in God's hands.
Best place. Best
And
place.
the last step
Nice.
she did mention, the doctor did mention, is that you have to be able to pray and just be grateful for what you have. So it's awesome. It's off the book. It's amazing. So let's have that promo video, and we will be back shortly after this.
Life has a way of throwing challenges at us, whether it's emotional struggles, difficult decisions, or. But what if there was a place where you could find not just solutions, but also the tools to create a brighter, more confident future? That's what Gabriella's Double Impact Solutions is here for. Our tagline is mentoring minds, empowering lives. It's more than just words. It's the heart of what we do. We combine counseling to help you heal and process life difficulties with mentorship that offers practical guidance for your personal growth and future success. It's about building strength for today and clarity for tomorrow. We also understand that everyone's journey is different. That's why we offer both secular counseling and faith-based counseling grounded in Christian principles for those who desire a spiritual foundation in their healing process. No matter your preference, we meet you where you are. At Gabriella's Double Impact Solutions, mental health is our priority because we know it's the foundation for everything else. Whether you're navigating personal challenges, seeking direction in your career, or striving to build emotional resilience, we are here to help you strive. solutions, healing, and a future filled with purpose. That's what you'll find at Gabriella's Double Impact Solutions. Visit us today at www.gabriellasdoubleimpact.com to start your journey, because we are mentoring minds, empowering lives. Let's grow together.
Okay, so that's Gabriella's Double Impact Solutions. Thank you so much for being part of this entire family and this particular community that we are building. Yes, thank you so much. So I want to get back to our guest. I'm looking at something here and I'm thinking you use some specific terms, right? And the term that you use is a business you love, as opposed to one that you simply tolerate or endure. I think the latter brings to some people some level of anxiety and maybe certain levels of depression. So, how can we help people to look for signs or key indicators that it's a business that they actually love, and then they will find the fulfillment that they seek in the business itself?
Love it. And actually, I mentioned earlier, I have a few more acronyms for you.
Uh huh.
So let's say you are in that business that you don't love. Let's just use that word. We don't love it. It's
Yeah.
not like we're getting up every day and we are like, woohoo, let's do it. You know, we kind of like, oh my gosh, I don't know I can do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you are afraid deep down and actually leaving. Okay, so there is that fear that we talked about earlier. So how about this? You look at that fear acronym as something like focus, energy,
Mm-hmm.
action,
Mm-hmm.
and resilience.
Wow.
Sometimes fear is just that. You just
Okay.
have to think about there is something on the other side, but I just have to think to focus.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm doing right now is not my superpower. I don't feel aligned with my love. I don't feel that this is something that I'm looking forward to every day. I don't even feel like I'm my best self because it's a little bit, making me, feeling I'm missing the mark here. Really, I'm not even sharing with the world what my superpower is.
Mm-hmm.
So put some focus into it, take some energy, action, and then there might be days when it's hard to actually leave your job, apply for other jobs, but you have to be resilient. You have to keep yourself. I know that there's something amazing waiting for me, and I just have to keep going. And then if you tell others about it, you never know what connections there might be coming up. You never know what accountability systems coming up. But you have to know that fear is just sometimes there because you don't know what will happen. Keep going. You got this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So, I want to I want to kind of hit home at what you're saying, and I want to focus on you, Dr. Christiane. Were you always this bubbly and full of energy and positive, and or was there a time when you had to really overcome some of those fears and you could not produce the kind of personality that you're producing now?
Yeah, obviously, I did step into my superpower. So I love being an educator, an author, a speaker, and I do really feel that aligns with what my skill set is. I think that we all have that moment where people ask you, "What do you want to do? What do you want to study?" And I really didn't know. And there's still probably other things that might happen in my future that I don't know about.
Yeah.
But you have to keep aligning yourself and listening to your own voice and really figure out that's something that I enjoy. I want to do more of that. That's something that doesn't work very well. Maybe I want to do less of that. And at the same time, that's just what I ended up doing, this little course correction along the way. So when I was, for instance, writing my PhD or my doctoral dissertation, there was a topic and I felt it was absolutely amazing, but I wasn't really my heart wasn't really into it until then I ended up shifting my focus to a more health-oriented topic. And now I'm a business and wellness coach, and I do really feel that that's the Venn diagram of my particular joy. So I don't want to work just on business or just on wellness. I really want to make sure that business owners and entrepreneurs take care of their wellness. And that's really where I feel my superpower is, in that beautiful Venn diagram intersection. So I
Wow.
felt once I aligned that,
Yeah.
I was totally in my drive and in my superpower, and my whole attitude completely shifted.
Wow, Gabriella, she is so definitive. I love it. I love it. I
Yes.
love it. And on that note, I'm gonna let you read the comment by Bernadine S. Woods.
Good night to everyone. Don't worry, everybody starts from zero before they reach 100. God hasn't given you the power of fear. After making your first step in confidence, you would realize how easy going forward and say to yourself, this is a piece of cake, but you must make the first step to break the ice.
Wow,
Always on target.
Oh, that was really nice.
that
Yes,
was really nice indeed. So,
it was.
Dr. Christiana, you have is it three published books that you have?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. The first one was a number one Amazon best-selling. Right. Which one stands out to you the most in terms of the message that you want people to get, and why would you consider it as the front runner in all that you have written?
So my first book, How to Master Your Goals.
Yeah,
If you watch, like, my finger was kind of going towards that one.
yeah,
Um, was beautiful because when I wrote it, I knew I needed to create a guidebook for people how to master their goals. And that really also introduced formally into the world my petite practice method of taking something big and breaking it down to the small, petite steps to get
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I'm very proud about my last book now, which is called Discover Your Superpower. And that's the one in the middle in that picture right there. Because in that book, I'm actually featuring podcast guests from my podcast that share their superpower. And I think if you are one of the audience members that doesn't really know what your superpower is, it does help tremendously in listening to what other people's superpower are, because it could be that it's maybe a little mix and match, a little bit of
Mm,
this, a little bit of that. And
yeah,
it's also beautiful just to listen to these inspiring stories of how other people overcame challenges and struggles and see where they are right now. It's very inspirational.
wow, I love it.
Mm.
Thank you so much. So up to you, Gabriella.
Thank you. So I just want to go back a little bit, right? When you was talking about blending wellness and business growth. Now that's something very unique that your work is producing, that you don't separate business from well-being. You made it inseparable. Why do you believe that entrepreneurs can't scale their business without scaling their well-being as well?
Well, I think that we all do that. We just keep working, we keep piling things
Testify.
on.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden realize, oh my gosh, I can't even sleep at night. My mind is still churning and digesting things from the day. And people are talking to me and I can't even focus on what they're actually saying because my mind is completely, still on this project. So I really encourage you, think of each action that you take as getting 100% of your action. And when you move on and leave your work behind, you need to put 100% of your focus on your next task, which could be your friends, your family, your fitness, anything that. Don't work out and watch news, for instance, on the TV.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing. Just work out and listen to
Doing
music
results.
or
Yeah.
nature, right? I
Yeah,
think that in general, just relax. And there's so much work. I mean, unfortunately, work will never go away. There will always be something you could do, but you just have to tell that yourself. I'm stepping away from it right now to be focused and intentional on my next task, which is maybe taking care of my own wellness. Because I know if I return to my work, I'm going to be even more focused and intentional because I did take that step and stepped away from it.
mm, yeah,
So that'll be encouragement because I'm guilty. of doing the business, and you just focus on a lot of things is happening in your mind, and it's like I take it like a computer. When you open several tabs, all the tabs are open, but you really can't focus on all the tabs because it's so many things is happening in the mind. And how would you encourage persons to, what is one practice I would say you would encourage persons to take something that is non-negotiable that could help remove the tabs so that they could focus primarily on one thing at a time.
Well, quite honestly, I think that if there is, let's say you have 64 different tabs open, which I do that too, I have
Yeah,
all these different things that I'm working on.
yeah,
Just think about, all right, so today I'm going to tackle 3. That's it, 3, not 64. We're just doing
yeah.
3. Because the moment where you completed all 3s, that's a moment of joy. And you want that moment of joy to keep you going tomorrow and tackle another 3 tasks. If you try to tackle 64, there's no way you're going to get this all done today. And that just sets you up for failure, being hard on yourself, and you feel constantly behind because you already piled so many different things on your to-do list that no human being, not even ChatGPT, could complete this. And I think you just need to be honest with yourself and say, you know what? 3, that's it. And see how I do my 3? That's very European, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see it. I see it.
You can do this.
Oh
Do you do
my.
it like that?
I,
How do you
yeah.
do it?
Mm.
Different. Oh, see?
Yeah.
That's my unique thing. I love weaving European efficiency into my life, and that's maybe one of those.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Love it. Love it.
All right. And when it comes to the actual petite practice that is your trademark, right? For someone listening right now who feels time strapped, and how would you explain this petite practice in a way that could actually apply to them now? And what is
Well,
it about exactly?
we all have 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody has the unique gift of having more hours. So at the end of the day, you just have to figure out how you're going to fill your 24 hours. And try to think a little bit about your 24 hours as you want to see like a fruit salad or a smoothie or a very colorful, beautiful salad, right? So you want to see a little bit of family time, some friend time, some you time, some work time, and maybe even some time where you don't do a whole lot, just kind of like letting your mind wander time. So that is really what the petite practice is. You're breaking your day into small little capsules of work, of joy, of connection. And that will really fuel your momentum because you're feeling there is a little bit of everything on my platter, but I don't feel I'm just getting drained out by sitting 8 hours at the desk and I haven't even seen my family. And I'm feeling I totally forgot to eat lunch just because I had to complete this task. Don't, I mean, if you think about it, that already sounds atrocious in itself. So you want to think a little bit of like, all right, I need to make some time for myself because I know that the book speaking, my best
Yeah.
ideas did not happen when I looked at the cursor and the keyboard and the laptop. They
Yeah.
happened while I was on a walk. I talked to a friend. Maybe I was doing a workout, taking a shower, walking at the beach. That's when my best ideas happen.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And that's really important though, finding that peace. Something that is peaceful. That would give you that clarity that is needed. But what inspired you to actually create this framework? Was it from research or was it from your own experiences?
It's from my own experiences.
Yeah.
People kept asking me, hold on, so you're a professor, you're a podcaster, you're an author, you just did a TEDx talk. How did you do it all? And they kept asking the same question. And I nearly
Yeah.
felt like, I wish I would have a little handout or something. Like, this is how I do it. Like my recipe to
Yeah.
my success. And I thought, well, what is the recipe to my success? And I had to really
Blueprint.
actually think about it. And I thought, well, I guess the recipe is that I do a little bit of everything. I do a podcast. And then in my book, I talk about my podcasts. And the books that talk about the podcast, I also share in my speeches and in my classroom. So everything is connected.
Mhm.
Everything is energy. And it's all revolving and it's just creating content that I'm passionate about and that I'm sharing. And if you think about that, not everybody wants to listen to a podcast. Maybe some people want to watch it on YouTube. Maybe
Yeah.
some others want to pick up the book and read it. And maybe some others want to read it on my blog. So I'm just creating unique opportunity for people to connect with me because I'm passionate about the message and what I'm actually teaching. It just gives more pathways to share my superpower. And that's, I think, really the magic, that I don't only think about this one thing that needs to be perfect. I just say it's done. Done is always better than perfection, and I'm moving on, you know?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna take a break now, and we're gonna have the thought of the week. So we're gonna ask Dex to put up the thought of the week as we're gonna share a moment of inspiration one more time with our audience. And the thought of the week is: we can never tell what God has in store for our tomorrows. We must never give up, but live for His promises to come. I repeat that. Thought of the week: we can never tell what God has in store for our tomorrows. We must never give up, but live for His promises to come. And that is my motto, and I just love sharing it on this episode or this program with our guests and our audience as we continue live. So I want to look at this from another angle in terms of what people may see coming out of this interview. What is the one most important thing that you would say, Dr. Christiana, that would define all that you do, not just from an entrepreneurial point of view, not just from a superpower point of view, but in terms of the service that you give to people and they can actually get something positive out of it?
Yeah, so the last two acronyms that I promised you:
Yeah,
fail, if you
yeah,
feel like you completely messed up something and you feel like failed.
yeah,
It was your first attempt in learning, which is the first time. You
yeah,
just learned something, right? But it didn't mean that it was wasted. You
yeah,
basically just first time, first attempt in learning. And my second acronym is no, just stands for next opportunity. So if somebody tells you no, just move on to the next opportunity. It wasn't meant to be. And I would like that you take action today on both of those acronyms. Take your small step, your petite practice. If you feel it didn't work, wonderful. You figured that out. You just go for the next opportunity, right?
yeah. I love that. I love that. And I love how you simplify everything because I think sometimes we overthink stuff, we overdo stuff, and we find ourselves depleted, sometimes burnt out, sometimes distressed unnecessarily. But if we just take time out and really simplify stuff, as you so rightly point out, then maybe, just maybe, we'd be able to see it from a different perspective. And I think that's the main thing that people struggle with: mindset. And so the next question that I want to ask you is, in terms of the mindset of people, what is the one thing that you see that is a common practice that takes people far away from actually reaching their goal, but they seem almost helpless? And it's like going down the proverbial rabbit hole. So everybody's heading in that direction because maybe that's what they see other people doing, but it doesn't bring the result that they seek. How do we get people to reach to the traffic light and say, okay, I'm not going to break the traffic light. I'm going to stop, wait till green comes. But while it's going to change, I will actually change my perspective or my attitude or my mindset towards how I'm going to go forward so that I don't repeat the mistakes of the past and find up at the same place. Because they say if you're doing the same thing and expecting different results,
Madness.
something is wrong. But what can they use from your specific line of expertise to get them to realize, hey, I need to stop this and make some dynamic changes?
Oh, what a beautiful question. I think that it helps already when every day you write down a few things that you did, actions that you took. And then we are at the beginning of the month right now. Right
Yes.
now, revisit your calendar from August and look through the actions of August
Yes.
and maybe make little plus signs or happy faces next to the actions that really created momentum. And maybe like a little, line through the actions where you felt like, that really wasn't that great, And you will notice that all of a sudden there is a pattern. So it's
Mm,
really like you're looking at stars
yeah.
and you start to see a constellation. And it might even help you figure out your superpower. These are things I enjoy. These are things that are working for me. These are things that are creating momentum. So if you do that, not just thinking about moving forward, but rather actually also in celebrating what you already did, you're going to start seeing that there's a lot of time that you may be spending on activities, on tasks that are not necessarily moving the needle. So maybe what you need to do is focus on those ones in the past month where you really felt that was a good one right there. And most importantly, what I would encourage you to do is don't ever think what I want to do is already out there because it's not.
Mm,
Not it's
yeah.
not the way that you would do it. It's not the
Yes.
way that you're going to um, create it. So your creation has not been done yet. So keep moving forward and think that we are just all waiting for that superpower to come out. It's like that diamond that I talked about earlier. Just keep polishing along.
Ah, ah, that's a think tank moment. A think
I think
tank
so,
moment.
yes.
Uh, Rachel, John, Rajaram, good night, Minister Andy, and I think Alison Ramjon said good night, Brother Andy. Good night to you, wonderful people. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, there you go, and following our program. This episode, it's an amazing episode with our guest, Dr. Christiana, and what she said there just now basically epitomized the theme: empowering bold moves, overcoming fear, and building a business you love. And we thought this was really important because so many of us have ideas, things you want to share, things you want to do, things you want to build on, and we are fearful of getting it done. I have seen many people succeed because they had no fear of failure. Rachel John Rajaram says, thanks for these sessions. I'm really learning from these sessions. Keep up the great job. Thank you. And thanks to Gabriella and thanks to Dr. Christiana for making it happen as well. And Dexter in the background, don't forget Dex.
Of course.
Dr. Christiana, how can we understand that failure is not permanent, but rather a stepping stone to the success that we seek in life?
Well, that acronym, first attempt in learning,
Yes.
you don't want to think about, oh, I just wish I would have tried that. Because
Mm,
the true learning happens during the progress of leaning in towards your goal.
right.
It's not that you reach your goal and you're like, ah, I'm done. It's all good. It's really the journey that got you there.
Yes.
When I was standing on the TEDx stage, that was amazing, of course. But the journey that got me there is really what I want to celebrate. Those moments of joy that I celebrated with sharing my TEDx talk with my friends, with my family, the little tips and tricks I figured out how to memorize a script. All that is really something where I felt, yeah, now I'm really seeing the bigger picture of this goal of giving a TEDx talk. And of course, it inspired me. I'm going to write my book, The Runway to the Red Dot, for the TEDx stage
Yeah.
and share that. So that is really how I looked at this. I was like, I wanted to become a TEDx speaker, and now I want to help you do that too. So my goal really, those days when it was maybe tough to give the talk, maybe tough to stay motivated, I'm going to put all that in the book so that you can look at that and get inspired because I know you can do that too.
Wow, that's something to look forward to, and a lot of people I know will be inspired by that. Thank you so much for sharing. Over to you, Gabriella.
Thank you so much. I'm
You're
just
welcome.
I'm just regurgitating all the information here. It's a lot and I love it. And I like how I as Brother Andy said, I love how you simplify how you simplify things and make it look so simple, you know. But I just want to be a little devil's advocate here at this point. Now we at a stage where we're saying fail, and we're saying, well, it's first attempt at learning. Not a lot of persons may not grasp it, or they may not want to grasp it because they have put so much of their energy into this particular goal or action, and then it flops. So now they leave, okay, I'm a failure. They don't see it as a learning experience at the point in time. So someone who is at that junction where they have attempted, it failed, and now they're saying they're not good enough, or better had tried something else, or this feel too saturated, let me go into something that's a little less saturated, but then become so overwhelmed and so frustrated trying to achieve something, and then it flops at that point. What will be your encouragement, or what step would you take, you will allow them to take at this junction for someone who is feeling so overwhelmed by just feeling and not seeing that it is a learning experience?
Oh, what a great question. I think if we try a lot of different things, and let's say you're looking at all these experience like they're spices, and
Yeah.
you're trying to create your unique spice blend, which is your superpower. But no matter how you blend the spices, it just tastes a little off.
Oh, okay, something
And you're
missing.
starting over again. You're like, you know what? This is still not right. And you take
Yeah.
spices again, and you start blending again. Sometimes, it's good to just start simple. All right, so maybe I just start with 2 or 3 instead of with 15, right? I think if you could share that journey, that is already gold right there. Think about the fact that when I presented on the stage, there were some people there that had applied to close to 300 different TEDx stages before they got accepted. Now,
Yeah.
think about that amount of resilience is tremendous. It's inspiring others to keep going. So if you feel you tried, you failed, you tried, you failed, you tried, you failed, how about sharing that? How about even sharing what you did try and what didn't work to save somebody else the time in trying it? Because you're like, you know what? I've tried that. It really didn't. Don't mix those two spices together. Ooh, not good, right? Ooh. And if you use that one spice, use very little because somebody else will do the same mistake and you save them some precious time. And it creates communication and conversation as well. So always look at your failures as just a little stop in your journey that by sharing it, make somebody else's journey maybe just a little smoother. That's how you can look at that as well.
Mm.
Wow.
Gabriella, I think I'm seeing a huge comment there from the production team.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah. Read it out.
Okay. The graveyard is the richest place on earth because it is here that you will find all the hopes and dreams that were never fulfilled, the books that were never written, the songs that were never sung, the interventions that were never shared, I'm not saying the word properly, the cures that were never discovered, all because someone was too afraid to take that first step because with the problem or determined to carry out their dream.
Awesome.
Hmm.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that, Dr. Christiana?
Oh, in fact, in my book, in the Discover Your Superpower book, I have a game that I actually call the gravestone game. Like, think a little bit about what do you want that people say about you? What would they engrave on your gravestone? What do you want them to say about you that really creates legacy? And if you feel that they are not entirely clear, you have some work to do.
Yeah.
You have some work to do. You have a legacy to create to make that gravestone engraving much easier. And even though at first, my clients are like, we're going to do what? It's tremendous power. You don't want to feel that your family, your friends, your connections never know that you actually wanted to write a book about how you came to become this or that, or your personally story of overcoming some struggles. You need to make sure you get started on this and start telling others so that it can book on that gravestone, author. sharing her stories that made us smile and appreciate the warmth that she brought us all together, or whatever that would be. Okay, something like that, right?
Hmm.
It's like taking that leap of faith. There's another one there, Gabriella. It's from
I'm at yes, from Rachel John. I'm at that junction where I always look at myself as a failure in all aspects of my physical life. I'm at that place.
Mhm.
wow, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess my question would be really, if you think about the small steps of petite practice, you are really hard on yourself in the words how you talk to yourself. How about flipping the switch and starting to talk to yourself as you would talk to your best friend? Because even though you might feel like you're trying this and it doesn't work, and you're trying something else and it doesn't work, what would you tell your best friend? You wouldn't tell your best friend, my gosh, you're such a failure. You would probably say something very different. You would say, you know what? I'm sure you gave your best. And I'm sure that what you just did right there was still changing the lives of some people, or whatever you would tell your friends. Find that language and use that on yourself. You can even walk through the house and talk out loud. I sometimes do that too. It creates tremendous strength in your mind.
Hmm.
And I also want to use the word mind shift.
Hmm.
Don't feel like your mind is stuck on something or set on something. It might just shift to a more positive stage by using more positive language when you talk to yourself.
Wow. If I could, I just add something to that. I look at the story of uh, Beethoven, Ludwig van Beethoven, to my mind, one of the greatest, if not the greatest composers of all times. And he was clinically deaf. So the question that many people would have asked is how a man who is clinically deaf, Gabriella, Dr. Christiana, could produce such gems of music when you actually need that gift of hearing at its fullest strength. And what was explained, what was discovered from that study was that because his desire and his ambition was so deep in discovering the music that he felt would move the world, he did not think of himself as being deaf, but he think about himself having a challenge to hear more than what other people were hearing, and as a result, found the desire to produce such great symphonies like da 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 da. You know, there you go. Yeah. So, what kind of mindset then do we need to have? As you said, let's think about ourselves telling our friend, hey, don't do that to yourself. Don't beat up on yourself. See yourself as being unique, even though you may not look like everybody else, song like everybody else, do what everybody else is doing. You're still original and unique. God created you for a purpose. Why not take the time that you beat up on yourself to discover what that purpose is, just like Beethoven, and just do it? In other words, just take that leap of faith. Gabriella?
Yes, I love that story. And as I'm listening, what I'm sensing and what I'm getting is the power of not allowing this situation or the challenges that you face to overpower you, and that you don't allow it. You understanding that it's not about you. At the end of the day, most of our times we extend grace to others and we deny ourselves. And I realize that's a trend with a lot of persons. We rather help everybody else. We had the best advice to give everybody else, but when it comes to ourselves, we put ourselves last, right? And in listening to Dr. Christina just now, she was talking about, when you are going through this situation or going through these hurdles, you don't know who you might impact going down the road, because this is not just about you facing this hurdle, but it might actually be something and a testimony for someone who may walk that or traverse that same path eventually. So, Dr. Christina, my question to you would be, if you had that mic now that you would be able to extend and shout out to the world and give that person that hope or that encouragement, or speak life into that person right now who is listening, who is saying, you know what, I need that encouragement, I need that hope, I need to realize that I need to extend myself and this is what I need to do, what will be that word that you would like to tell them today?
I would like to tell them that actually they need to share their goal with others. Tell it. Tell others what you want to do. Because by verbalizing it, it makes it real. It brings your goal into the present moment.
Yeah.
And others will be there to encourage you and to uplift you. Remember how I got started with this episode right here today, where I said fear really is just you are taking that first step at executing something, at taking action and keeping on going. And I think that we frequently, once we verbalize it, realize that is really what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this right now. And then others will be there and they will be your cheerleaders. So tell others, say it out loud. And alone that will already make it more real for you to get started today before you change your mind.
Yes. But tell the right persons, not just shout it out to the world, but tell it to the right persons, persons who know would uplift you and help you to walk on that journey.
Yep.
Yes,
Uh,
very important.
yeah. So we just pause for a repeat of the thought of the week as we're coming to the end of this episode. And I'm kind of biased because I'm thinking, why does it have to end?
White up friend.
Exactly, why does it have to end? Anyways, thought of the week, people, just as a repeat, we can never tell what God has in store for our tomorrows. We must never give up, but live for His promises to come. No matter what you're going through, you could never tell what God has in store for our tomorrows. And remember, He's already got it figured out. We must never give up. It's not an option, but live for His promises to come because His promises are yea and amen, and He will stand behind them to bring them to pass. So, Dr. Christiana, you are also doing an amazing podcast. And what is the kind of audience that you're looking to impact through that podcast? What is the work that you're seeing happening as a result of the feedback you're getting from the podcast?
Oh, I love that question. Yeah, my podcast is called Happy, Healthy, Hustle.
Right.
And those are the three words that I'm really striving to create in you: some joy,
Yes.
some wellness, and
Hmm.
maybe some tips and tricks to become more efficient in your life. So the feedback I usually get are some people are like, I drove home with a big smile on my face. It was probably a little goofy to the people watching me in my car, but I
Yeah.
did it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Or they might just. I had a friend the other day and she reached out and she said, I woke up and I realized, oh, yesterday is your podcast released episode. So I'm going to tune in. And that's the first thing in the morning when I'm not feeling getting out of bed. And it gives me the energy and the strength to get out of bed and to get going. So that's the feedback that I'm getting. It's that energy, that positivity, the joy. It's 50 minutes, so it's small. And it's something to where it might just create a little spark in your mind and how you can tap into your own superpower right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Gabriella, we just have about 2 minutes.
Yes. So I just want to thank you for your aura, for your energy. I love it. I just want to say that you could pass for Miss Universe. You're just loving the look. You can consider modeling. I wanted to say that for the longest while. But thank you so much. All right. We really appreciate you coming in here today. And you know, the simple steps that we have to take is nothing big. We don't need to frustrate ourselves and overpopulate our minds with stuff. We just need to keep going forward. And you know, with resilience, there's no going back. You could only go forward. So keep trying. And I want to thank you for, you know, those acronyms that you would have shared with us as well. They may be simple, but they are very powerful. And I hope that you continue to touch the very lives that you would be encounter with going forward, and that God will continue to bless everything that you do.
Thank
So
you so
thank
much.
you. You're welcome.
Okay, great. So, Dr. Christiana, on this note, what do you think the world needs now more than anything else?
I'm going to pick up on the name of this episode, love.
Well, oh,
Oh my
great.
goodness.
I think that's what we need. Give somebody a hug, send them a
Yeah.
quick text, just
Yeah.
let them know how much you care for them. I think that's what we all need.
Yes, that is so true. And hey, you know what? Maybe we are the ones that would help them to remember that that's an important virtue that
Yes.
I know. I
grab it
know.
into and help
But
resonate.
the famous song, "All You Need Is Love,"
Yes,
right?
yes, yes. Come on, So at the end of the day, it's important for us to have that positive affirmation and to always think that we could be the vessels that can engender the change that we need to see in this world. If we all start to just love each other just a little bit more, we don't have to be doodling over
Yeah.
everybody. Small steps, like you said, Dr.
Small
Christiana.
steps.
Small
Petite.
steps.
Yep. We
Wonderful.
don't need to write out a whole Hallmark
Yes.
movie.
No,
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 no need for lengthy affirmations or anything. Just like
no.
something quick.
Yeah.
You could even send, like a fun little emoji or
Yeah.
something. I do that with
Yes.
my daughter sometimes when
Yes.
I feel they're stressed out. I just send them something thinking of you, and they appreciate it. It's like
Yes.
Yes.
I don't want to be the mom that's like hovering over them, but I sometimes feel it. They just need something like a little like pick
Yes.
me up, and that's what it is.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah. What an amazing note to end this episode. You've been graced with the presence of Dr. Christiana, folks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The episode entitled Empowering Bold Moves, Overcoming Fear and Building a Business You Love with Dr. Christiane. Christiana, I don't want to go into
You
mentioning
did it.
my goodness. But it's all good, and it's a nice thing that we can end on the note of love.
Love.
We're gonna continue here, Gabriella and I. We have another half an hour to go with our audience, and we're gonna let you go now, Dr. Christiana. But I'm gonna tell you in advance, we need you back here for a part two.
Yes, definitely.
This has been
I would love to.
engaging.
And of course, to all the audience members,
Yes,
you are amazing. Keep reaching out with any questions. And to the show host, oh my gosh, such an honor to be here. Thank you.
an honor to have you, and Godspeed in all that you do going forward. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye for now. All right, great. So, Gabriella, let's get into our other aspect of the program. I
Yeah.
first want to look at what we did last time with Lisa. Let me see if I can just pull up something here because I need to remind myself of what she was doing. Okay. So, what we were looking at from her, it had a lot to do with looking at stress and resilience management. What could you recall from what she said that would have bear witness with you or resonated with you or you could remember from that interview?
For me, what stood out for me was that she realized, she was aware that she was in a place of depression and self doubt and addiction, and she became aware that she couldn't stay in this particular place in her life. She knew it wasn't a place that she needed to be, and she also saw that the effects of being in those situations, whether you're feeling depressed or you're feeling, having self doubt, what she realized is that it had a ripple effect in the sense that it wasn't just her, but her children started to experience similar patterns. And she realized she had two choices: is either she changed the narrative or she remained stuck. She remained in that place where she is depressed, she has self doubt and addiction. But she asked herself, she didn't remain there. She asked herself, what are the tools that I already have that I can use? What are the good things that I could use to continue going forward? Because this is what how she explained resilience. She said the only way with resilience is to go forward. So she didn't remain in that place. What she did is she asked herself, okay, what are some things that I already have that I could use to help me to move forward in life? And that is what she would have used in order to overcome her depression, overcome her self doubt. And she realized she had skills, she had talents that she could have used that could have helped her now to come out of that place. And she did. She didn't stay stuck. But she said you first need to be aware that you have an issue. And that is where a lot of persons may struggle because they're afraid to admit that they're going through this or they're experiencing this, or they may even not sure who to talk to. But she said, come out and talk. If it is you don't know what to do, then look for someone who can help. Look for a professional who can help you to overcome that hurdle that you are going through. So that for me was something that was very striking. That Sometimes we think that we're going through something and it's only us alone that is being affected. But with her, we realized that it had effect even on her children. And she realized, you know what? I need to stand up. I need to get myself out of this place. I need to rise out of this depression. I need to rise out of this that is crippling me and paralyzing me and also now having an effect on my child. I'm not saying that everybody will have children, but it will affect others around you. And that is the impact that these challenges also face and have. So it's not about you facing it alone, but also having that effect on others as well. So my encouragement would be for those listening to rise out. Yes, be aware that you are going through something, and if you know that it is becoming too overwhelming, you may not have the tools that is required to go forward, then reach out to someone and ask for that advice so that you can overcome your challenges. Another thing that stood out for me, if you permit me, is she took out a picture, a before and after picture.
Hmm.
So when she made the decision to rise above, she was, yes, in her depressed state, and she took out that picture at that point in her life because she realized that, okay, I asked her why did she took out that picture, and she said she wanted to see her progress. So a couple months after, she took out another picture, and it was, you could have seen the difference in who she was before to who she is now. And that's very interesting because a lot of times when you're trying to come out of a particular situation, you're feeling like it's like a snail piece. It's taking long, And for her, a lot of times, you may not feel or know that you are making the progress. But with the picture, it was a reminder. It's like a tangible reminder that here was I was here and now I'm here. So she saw the progress. And sometimes others see the progress in you and you may not believe it because in your mind, I try and I'm not seeing it, I'm not feeling no difference, why I'm not seeing any progress. But if you take that action, if it is you have to take out a picture, if it is you have to have someone around who could keep you accountable to say, well, yeah, you did move from where you were. It may not be the pace that you wanted to be, but just celebrating those little moments, celebrating those little achievements or accomplishments, no matter how small the progress might be, it will help you to understand that you are overcoming your challenges and that you are progressing. So for me, that picture taken was very, very impactful because it allowed her to now see her progress going forward and be motivated to go forward and even harder in trying to be resilient and to come out of those stressful situations. So those two things were my highlights from the last episode.
Absolutely wonderful, Gabriella. Thank you so much. You
You're
do pay
welcome.
attention to details. Must commend you for
Yes, thank you.
two things really stood out um, with me for Lisa Monza. And
Yeah,
the first thing is that she said she learned to realize that all the negative stuff that she was going through, it was not her fault. And
yeah,
that really hit me because she said I did not see myself blaming myself, or I did not see myself as a victim, but I realized it was an opportunity for me to see myself from a different perspective. And
yes.
that, I mean, that was so profound, Gabriella.
Hmm.
A lot of people struggle with their problems, with their challenges, and we all do have problems, we all do have challenges, folks. There's not a single human being on this planet that is not faced with some challenge or the other at the end of the day. Even those who are the richest, like the Elon Musk and so on, could you imagine the amount of challenges they face
Yeah,
every single day? Right. So at the end of the day, what you cannot do is you cannot afford to define yourself by the problems or the challenges that you're faced with. You have to draw back. You have to take time out and you have to really look at yourself and see from within what good things that you can bring out to deal with the reality of managing yourself and your emotions and your responses, not necessarily reactions, but your responses when those problems and those challenges arrive. And so, what she was able to do was she was able to build up a better version of herself. And as Gabriella rightly said, she took pictures so that she realized that she had within herself the capacity to make progress in her everyday life. And that is so important. Now, it may not be 80, 90, 70%. Don't go for too much. like Dr. Christiana said, take little
Yes.
steps.
Little
But
feet.
imagine you progressing 1% every day. Think about that. At the end of the year, it would be 365%. And that's good enough. But you need to be patient. And she spoke about that. She had to be patient with herself. She had to love herself. And she had to understand that there was a big separation between what she was going through and who she actually was as a person, as an individual. And that made a load of difference in her life. The second thing that she spoke about that really struck me was community. And she spoke so fondly about the community that was around her, the people in the church, the people at worship, the groups that she could have sat down and met with. And we all need community people. You know the old saying, no man is an island? That is true. That is so true. We need people around us who would be there for us, who would support us, who would love us, and just treat us with that level of respect that gives us that feeling of appreciation and humanity. And we all deserve that. We're all created to be in that kind of mindset. But we must want that for ourselves. And she wanted it, she needed it, she saw it, and she took the necessary steps to be in a community that she knew would give her the love and support that was necessary for her to be a better person, to share things that they had in common where they resonated with each other, but actually found a community kind of strength that they could feed off each other in the best interests of growth, not only personally, but as a group coming together in a community settings. And wow, I think the episode was really awesome. We have so many amazing guests coming on these programs. So, Gabriella, could you just read this one out for us?
Rachel Ramjaram says, I had depression from 2013 after giving up my second son for adoption, and 2 years later, on the 23rd of April 2015, 20th being after my 60th birthday, my grandmother passed away. I only knew my grandmother as my mother. I don't know how to express myself to people.
Okay, so I will comment and then I will ask Gabriella to
Yeah.
comment as well. The first thing that I would really love to share with you is that you have to understand that everything about life is a stage and a season. The Bible speaks about seasons. God does everything based on a season. And He has done that so that it is an example, a divine example for us to understand that there's a season for things to happen in our lives. Sometimes, if we try to fight that season, if we try to beat that season, or if we try to make ourselves so much aligned with that season, we may become frustrated, we become stressed out, we may become anxious. Expressing yourself to people begins with expressing yourself to yourself. And sometimes it means you have to look at the man in the mirror and you have to tell that person, I love you, I appreciate you just the way you are. And sometimes you have to do self journalizing. Write down the things that you'd love to hear from other people. Write down the things that you'd love to say to other people and repeat them. And the reason why you're doing this is because you want now your mindset to shift from a place where you feel you have to live up to expectations to one where you just take it each day one step at a time and you don't put all that pressure on yourself thinking about what people are going to say, what they're going to think, or their opinions. Their opinions of you are just that, opinions. The one that matters the most is the one that you have of yourself, but it must be intentional for your best interests. So you need to speak that to yourself, you need to write it down, and you need to pray that God would give you the inspiration to maintain that positive and uplifting mindset for yourself. It starts with you. Don't have too much expectations of other people, but have the most expectations about love for yourself from yourself. And sometimes when people see that happening, it sends a message to them. Additionally, it sends a message to your brain that you are taking time out to love you, to care for you, and to speak to you. And sometimes it changes the neural pathways in your brain, and things begin to shift in your life. And you realize, wait a minute, if I only do this a little more often and with a little more passion, meaning a greater desire for it to become a reality, who knows? But as I said before, even when that is happening, the season may come where it may be difficult for you to do that, but you have to discipline yourself to continue, despite what you're faced with, despite what you're feeling, or despite what others are saying around you. Stick to the goal of self love, self appreciation, and self valuation. That's important, and it begins with you. Doesn't matter what other people say or think. What you do, what you think, what you say, how you see you, that's what matters. And that must be your foundation for the rest of your life. Gabriella?
Thank you for sharing, Andy. So, Rachel, what I would say to you tonight is that what you're experiencing is a level of compound grief, right? So, thank you for sharing that. The fact that you actually typed it out is actually your form of expressing yourself right now, right? And we want to say that at this point, it is going to be difficult for the experiences that you would have experienced there. You would have had significant loss, which will be a grandmother, which will be giving up your son for adoption, and that is something that you would grieve for a period of time or for some years. But what I want to say is that being able to express yourself is going to take some time because maybe you have gotten to a place of being numb and you are experiencing so many things at this point in time. So it is grief, right? And what happens with grief is that it's not linear. It's not something that is just going to have some steps to take for you to overcome it. But if you are struggling with it on a personal level where you cannot express yourself, I would say to you to actually reach out for the help, right? To actually seek professional help when it comes to this particular junction in your life, right? But you can, for the meantime, if it is that you are struggling to express yourself, you could actually start to write what it is you would like to see. If it is you have to meet someone, write down your thoughts so that you transfer it from here. Because what is happening is a lot is happening in your mind, and you're just trying to compound everything into your mind. You're trying to deal with it on your own, and it's going to become overwhelming. It's going to become frustrated, and you're going to reach to that stage where you are depressed because everything is happening all at once, and you're experiencing it by yourself. So try to transfer all those thoughts, all that feelings into paper, write it down, express yourself. Sometimes you may not express yourself, sometimes you might cry, sometimes you might have no words, but get it out. Because if you keep it inside, bottle up, it's just going to overwhelm you, it's going to frustrate you, and you're going to become more and more depressed. If you realize after you're writing it, you're becoming a little more brave, then you could reach out for the professional help where that is concerned so that you can get the necessary steps that is needed to overcome your grief that you are experiencing now. And that will be my encouragement. If you want to reach out to me, I do grief counseling as well. You can reach out to me at 315-9897, and we could have a little chat if it is you would like to go down that road and you are experiencing it's becoming too much for you.
Mm, thank you, Gabriella.
You're
So
welcome.
I just want to help folks understand that there is a huge yet small distinction between what Gabriella does, her expertise, and my expertise. Beautiful message, self love. Thank you,
Yes.
Rachel. As a professional life and development coach, I help you see things from a different perspective. That's basically it. And bring you to a point where you realize or you recognize you do have choices. It's up to you to decide which choice eventually you want to make. But I create the opportunity for you to have a different perspective on what is happening in your life. Gabriella's expertise as a counselor is to help you manage the problems that you are currently experiencing, right? So it's two different dynamics, but they support and uphold each other in terms of the principles. So I just want to
Yeah.
get that out of the way. So,
No problem.
yeah. Dex, could you please line up that promo video from Amanda Blackwood? She was a former guest on this program, and we'd love for the people to understand how much it meant for her to be here as she continues to work, being a recovering victim from human trafficking and that kind of stuff. Just line up that video for us as she expresses the concern and appreciation for what we're doing here at Breaking Out of Depression. Yeah?
I just wanted to take a moment to tell you all about this amazing podcast that I had the absolute privilege of being on recently. Oh my gosh. Andy Charles is such an easy person to talk to. It's such a wonderful podcast to listen to. I love these guys. I know that I'm not going to have nearly as many opportunities to speak to them as I wish I could, but the program, Breaking Out of Depression, is really doing exactly that for so many people. It's been a great thing to be a part of. It's wonderful to see the progress of this show as it goes along. I'm just really blessed to have been a part of this.
She is so sweet. Thank you so much, Amanda. And if you want to get any information from her, her website is growthfromdarkness.com. Amanda Blackwood, growthfromdarkness.com. Amanda Blackwood. So you could just click in there and share your words with her and her story. I'm sure it will bring back some loving responses back to you. Okay, so thank you, Minister and Counselor. I reach out to both of you soon. Okay, great. We have just a few minutes to go, but what I want to do now is next, there's another video that we have, and this is important because our next guest coming on the 9th of September is an actual victim of the Khmer Rouge regime that committed genocide of its people back in the day. She's an actual survivor of that, and she has told me she really wants to come on the program and share her story. She has written a book, and it's an amazing, amazing time of someone who went through so much depression, anxiety, and stress. But out of that, she had so much good values that she is now sharing with people. And her love for God helped in an amazing way to bring that level of commitment to goodness over all the negative stuff and the badness that she had gone through. It's a dark period in history, one that most people don't forget. But yeah, let's hear the video.
To another teaser talk episode of the Don't Wait for Your Wake Up Call podcast. I'm here with Sarah M. Sarah, let the audience know why they need to tune into this episode.
Well, the audience need to tune in to listen because we are talking about so many things, about the very difficult journey that I went through, the communist Khmer Rouge that killed 2 million lives, and I share how I believe some of the core values that I have in me that help me build a resiliency that I was able to sustain myself through the very challenging time. And that's why I believe that anybody that tune in to listen to this episode will find some nugget to help you build your own resiliency.
Wow.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Wow. So, folks, Sarah Im is going to be our next guest on the 9th of September. Tune in at 6:30 p.m. AST time, and you're going to hear that amazing story. Now, Gabriella, you observed what she spoke about a time when 2 million lives were lost.
Yeah.
And it was only because of the goodness and the grace of God that she survived.
Survive.
Not many people survived. But Gabriella, she didn't see herself as a victim. She didn't, get out and be bitter and want
Yeah,
revenge.
she shared that story.
Yeah. She built up so much goodness within her, and the values she said that made a difference in her life. And then the key word, resiliency. Resiliency. I mean, it's such an amazing, amazing thing. So don't miss out. Tune in, people. Have a blessed night. From
Have a good
Richard.
night, Richard.
Same to you. So, any parting words, Gabriella, as we come to an end? We just about just under 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, so much has happened. Huh?
Telling you.
Where do I start?
Exactly.
Wow, but tonight was really awesome. As Dr. Christina was with us earlier on, I love that series. I hope we could really bring her back on, and I really hope that it was an encouragement for persons listening on, especially for those who are in the business arena. It really is a struggle sometimes, but I just want to say that nothing is impossible with God.
Yeah.
So continue to trust God, continue to trust that He will give you the ability. He has given you the abilities and the talents. You just need to walk in your purpose and just believe it. It will happen. It will come to fruition. You may not believe it now. You may not see down the road. And I know you want to see down the road. But very as you take those little steps, those little baby steps every day, and you celebrate those little wins and those little achievements, you would see the results and the outcome of it at the end, and you would look back and you say, what was I fretting about? What was I frustrating of myself about? And now you can be a testimony. Now you can be a source of encouragement for someone looking on. So don't take it too lightly. Don't take it as this is something that you alone are facing. A lot of us are going through it at the moment, and a lot of persons would have gone through it as well. And I would have put up something this week on my page where I spoke about Michael Jordan. He failed and 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 he failed. Yes, but with continued consistency and resilience in what he had to do, he continued to always reach out every morning, every day, and still practice until now. He's the number one best basketball player of the world. So if he can do it, anyone can do it. So that's my encouragement. Don't give up. Continue to press forward. Continue to be consistent. Consistency is key, and you will achieve your goals. So that will be my encouragement to you listening tonight.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for sharing, Gabriella.
you're welcome.
For me personally, guys, I believe in the power of destiny. And the reason why I say that is because when I look back at my life personally, I realize that every experience that I've had was a stepping stone to get me to where I am now. And I also realize that God has already planned and purposed what our future is going to be like. We have to find a way to trust Him enough to understand that the things that we don't know about, that we can't see, and even the things that we see and that we don't understand, He knows about those things. He understands all those things. That's how great and amazing He is. And as Gabriella reminds us, even though we may see impossibility, there's always possibility with God. And so every day that we live is an opportunity to get to our destiny. Every day that we live is an opportunity to get to our destiny. But first of all, we have to find out what our destiny is. Put our focus and our resources in the direction of that, and realize that at some point in time, even though we may not reach the total fulfillment of it, as Dr. Christiane says, enjoy the experience of getting there. When she got on that TEDx stage, it was amazing. But it was all the little things that she had done before that brought her to that place. And there, the value was not in the moment, but in the experience that she had leading up to the moment. So I want us to take that as we leave at this time, and as we continue to pursue our purpose in life, let God take charge, and remember that He's always in control and He has the best in store for us. Okay, so until next time, this is Andy, and together with my
Gabriella.
so, and Dexter in the background. We say Godspeed, God bless. And remember, in all that you do, do everything that you can to continue to break out
Out
of
of
depression.
depression.
Bye. We love you. Take care.
There ain't got no way, ain't got no way I'm gonna make it without my Lord, no. Ain't got no way I'm gonna make it without my Lord, no. There ain't